Teachers, there has been a debate brewing for years, and I am hoping to get your insight and give you my take on the topic. And that topic is bell work, or warm-up activities in your upper elementary and middle school classroom. I think that bell work should actually be eliminated. Yes, you heard me. Let's get rid of bell work. Hi, I'm Veronica. I am a real teacher with real advice, and if you are not sure how to get your students into the classroom and get them ready for academics within 5 minutes, don't worry, I've got you covered. Check out my blog post. It's on my website, teachingintherealworld.com, free to you and ready to read. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and let's check out why I think bell work should be eliminated. So a lot of you might be wondering, what does she even mean by bell work, and what gives her the authority to say, let's check it out the window? Well, what I mean by bell work is I mean review problems that are typically given to students at the start of class to kind of warm up their brains or get them ready for the lesson at hand. It's typically meant to be items that the students already know how to do, items that require them to activate their prior knowledge. It's typically review. What gives me the authority? Well, I've tried bell work in every single subject in the upper grades. I've tried different publishers, different formats, different ways to deliver the bell work, different ways to have students complete it, different time frames, you name it. And unfortunately, it just never quite lives up to its name. It always has something that doesn't quite work or fit, and it takes more time than I want it to. So that's my take on bell work, but I want to tell you why I think we need to get rid of it. And I promise you'll agree. So getting rid of bell work will give you freedom, and there's a couple of reasons why. First off, for some reason, bell work is always a complete and utter time sucker. Even though the bell work says 5-minute bell work, you can get it done quickly, it's never going to take you and your students just 5 minutes. It's always going to take 3 times that amount, because likely your students are going to need more than 5 minutes because you have students at all different levels in your class. No one ever finishes at the same time. Then you have to go over the bell work. Otherwise, if you don't grade it or talk about it, what was the point of even doing it? And then you've got to put it away, store it, get it out, so on and so forth. It just sucks up way too much time at the start of class. And if your classroom is anything like mine, there is a limited amount of time for you to be able to deliver your lesson and provide the support that your students need. So the time sucker aspect alone is one reason to chuck bell work. Before I mentioned that the bell work never quite fits. And what I mean by that is that it never quite fits your students' needs. Although it's supposed to be review or activate prior knowledge, your students have different learning gaps. Your students might be in a different state than what the bell work was created for. You never know. And so what ends up happening is the bell work actually creates kind of a confidence drop within your students when they aren't sure what to do, or maybe they don't have that prior knowledge. In addition to that, because these students might not necessarily get all of the items within the bell work, or maybe they don't have those skills, you end up spending your time trying to help them to learn those skills or teach those skills. Another way that it just takes more time than you need it to. Another way that it kind of drops that confidence, which can in turn kind of drop their ability to, or their desire to want to jump into the academics that you're about to present. So it just doesn't quite always measure up with what you need your students to be reviewing. Speaking of the confidence dropping in your students because maybe they don't know exactly what to do with certain problems or reading excerpts from the bell work, in addition to that, it's actually going to kind of create kind of an academic fatigue within your students. So you're doing the bell work to get them ready to jump into your lesson, but really you're just exhausting them and tiring them out and leaving them feeling a little bit defeated. So in the end, the bell work didn't really give them the energy boost you wanted it to have them jump into academics. It kind of did the opposite. It deterred them, it made them tired, and it made them not necessarily want to jump into those academics. The other thing with bell work is that someone is always losing it. You're going to spend a lot of time finding extra copies, a lot of time making those copies, a lot of time helping students sort through the bell work. Then there's the case of, do you grade the bell work or don't you grade the bell work? You need to acknowledge it now, at least, so the students know that it has value. So that's adding more time to you on the back end. So in the end, I just don't think that it's something that's worth a teacher's time. I don't think it's worth your effort, and I definitely don't think it's worth your energy. I think there are other things you can do to get your students ready for class. And like I said, I've got some free tips, tricks, and strategies that you can access on my website, teachingintherealworld.com. Okay, teachers, did I convince you? Are you ready to ditch the bell work? If you are, believe me, it's going to save you so much time and energy on the back end. If you need help and support, I am totally here for you. I am a real teacher with real advice, and you can check out my YouTube channel, Teaching in the Real World. I've got tons of realistic tips and strategies to help you in your classroom, or you can check out my website, teachingintherealworld.com, where I've got a blog post on this very topic, what I do to get my students into class, focused, and ready to learn within 5 minutes. I hope that this helps. I wish you all the best. Hope to see you again, and happy teaching.